The main event, Ricky Starks versus Jay White of Gin and Juice. And this is the main event, and this is a grudge match because, as you'll recall, Gin and Juice pretty much kicked the shit out of Ricky Starks last week, right? So we could actually remember this happened. And so Ricky Starks jumps Jay White in the aisleway on his entrance in the main event in a grudge match between two guys that are supposed to be pushed as commodities. Fine. Nothing the matter with that. Why did we have two other matches on this same program do the same thing? Is anybody paying a fucking attention, or is everybody just allowed to go out and do whatever they want?
Yeah.
So they have the fight goes to the ring, and the bell rings, and then they fight the other side, out the other side of the ring to the floor. And they spent this entire segment almost on the floor. I wrote at one point, this whole thing's going to be on the floor. They got back in the ring. Jay White took a backdrop that got a bigger pop than the first 2 minutes of the whole match, and then they both rolled back out to the floor. And then Ricky Starks, the people like him, and he's good, and he's got fire, and he's been booked to be left laying on his face or beaten or foiled or demoralized or whatever constantly. He's got a chance here to show what he can do. And Jay White, supposedly this hotshot, great worker from New Japan, opportunity in America where nobody knows who the fuck he is, to show what he can do. And they're just having bad, sloppy fighting on the floor like every other match that we see from this company. And then, as Starks goes under the ring, he looks under the ring and can't find what he's looking for. So he looks under the next side. Nothing. He walks past his opponent who's selling there on the floor and gives him a half-hearted kick and goes around to the other side of the ring. Instead of just beating the fucking guy up while he's down, he's looking for shit under the ring that he legitimately cannot find. And then the reason I know that he couldn't find it is because he then turns the stairs over, thinking, well, I can't find what I'm looking for, so I'll turn the stairs over. But then he sees Jay White staggering up the ramp, and before he runs after Jay White, he turns the stairs back over. Did you see that? It's like, oh, I can't leave him tipped over like this. He turned him back over the right way and then runs off to catch the opponent. I wrote, what the fuck is happening? The referee has left the ring, and they're fighting in the entranceway. And the announcers are saying, well, I think it's right of the referee to let him go. This is a grudge match, because they even know that there's no way that this shouldn't have been a count out. And I'm never going to see whether Jay White is any good or not, because apparently he's never going to have a match on his program. And then they go back to ringside, and Jay White tries to get in the ring, and Ricky Starks pulls him out, and they have more fight on the floor. And then Jay White goes over and grabs the stairs and puts them back in the right place. And then comes back over and fucking takes a suplex from Ricky Starks on the floor. He had to let his opponent recover while he put the stairs back in the right place so that and I wrote, am I hallucinating? And then they went to picture in picture. And both guys were never in the ring together until 15 seconds before they came back from the break. So now we are close to 10 minutes into this thing where they have never used the ring. But when they come back from the break, they're in the ring. And White is chopping Ricky Starks, and Ricky Starks is selling, and the people are reacting more than they did to anything in the first 10 minutes of this complete fucking stinker that they've had so far. And then Starks fires back, and White stops him. And then they fought on the top turnbuckle, and White gave him a big superplex. And it looked great. And I wrote, if they'd had a match in front of this, it would be incredible. But they never even got in the ring and started a match until there was 7 minutes left on the air in total. So once they started using the ring, their shit was great. And they were taking bumps and they can work. But by that time, I was just wanting it to be over because I was so fucking bummed out from the first 10 minutes. And then basically Starks hit a great spear and then hit his finish. What's the French name of the finish? The no can
Rochambeau.
Rochambeau. He hit his finish on White, but White's legs clipped the referee, and the referee goes down, and here come the Gun Boys. I'm not sure why. When Jay White has a tag team partner, but maybe Juice missed his flight. I don't fucking know. But they hit their finish on Starks, and then White revives the referee and picks Starks up and hits his finish on him. 1, 2, 3. And right before, on that spear and giving Jay White his finish, the people really, really, really wanted Ricky Starks to win. And he didn't again. And I'm not saying that the heel never can get any heat or fuck the babyface, but Starks has been pummeled. And they're still with him. He's like the AEW LA Knight. And they still want to support him. And every time that the fans do want to support him, they see him get beat and left face down. But the last 4 minutes in the ring gave you the idea that a match between these two guys would have been great. But they didn't have one. And whoever thought, if there is no agents, or there are no agents, bad grammar, if there are no agents, if there is no instruction from the booker or from the office, if they're just allowed to go out and have whatever kind of match they want to have, why would either one of these guys have thought that it was a thing to do to spend the first 10 minutes on the floor on this program when that's all you'd seen to begin with? And Starks and White, in this field of the people on this television program, were in the upper echelon of quality of the workers. They could have done well. Instead, we had to sit through complete shit with Ricky Starks looking like an idiot for crawling around under the ring trying to find shit to hit the guy that was laying at his feet to begin with. Your thoughts?
Sometimes you lay out the obvious and it's still funny. They didn't pull me into this, and maybe it was because I watched live and I saw everything else on the show. But I didn't like this very much. I know everyone really likes Jay White. I'm more impressed with Juice Robinson.
Yeah.
He's got more size. He's got a cooler look. I think he's a better... I don't want to say he's a better promo because I know people have raved about Jay White's promo.
He's a more charismatic promo. He doesn't talk like another of the endless guys with an accent from the United Kingdom with a trimmed beard and a fucking serious expression.
No, you could see him like getting into a fight like at Waffle Hut. What is it? Waffle House.
Waffle Hut. What is the matter with God? You're a fucking northerner.
You can see him getting into a fight there, and whether he wins or loses, it doesn't matter. He's going to be on the ground, on the pavement, like,
yeah,
doing something nuts.
He's going to be chewing on some guy's fucking elbow down on the asphalt in the parking lot at the Waffle House at 2:00 on Saturday night, Sunday morning, because that's the way Juice Robinson rolls, by God. And he's going to order them scattered, smothered, covered, and extra crispy on top of that. That's Juice. Jay White's got no fucking personality. We don't know what the fuck's going on with him.
Well, we don't do that kind of stuff at Waffle Hut, which is an offshoot of the French Toast Chateau, part of the Arcadian Vanguard Restaurant Associates program. But the other thing, I guess, with the 6-man tag announced for Collision and them doing stuff not going, to a match yet with FTR, and it sucks that we're going to get them in a 6-man match before an actual straight-up tag match. But I guess this is their way of moving everyone away. They get away from Starks because now he's in with the Guns. I don't know who he's going to team with against them. And you got Gin and Juice set up for FTR.
What if you just told the setup to every joke you know, but never told the punchline? So nobody ever really got it. You just went from one setup to another. That would be great, wouldn't it?
Should be a booker.